couple of other things to mention here this evening, including that, as you know, the Senate last week made its decision unanimously to call upon the Prime Minister to establish a Royal Commission into veteran suicide. Now, there is a bit of confusion here about whether this is the passing of a law and this would therefore compel the Prime Minister to actually have that Royal Commission. As best as I understand, that is not what happens. It is still the purview of the Prime Minister, in consultation with the Attorney General, to actually put this in place. But tomorrow is the opportunity for the lower house to do what happened in the upper house, and one would expect that by the end of the week we're going to be a whole lot closer to what we have long talked about, which is a Royal Commission into veteran suicide. Now, the RSL is cautious about this because they say, look, we've already got this commissioner who essentially is a standing 24/7 Royal Commission, but you know and I know that there are a lot of people who want to tell their story. They want to tell their story so that the endless weight of their stories will see major changes, maybe even, let's go back to square one, about the Department of Veterans Affairs. That has always been the problem here. Nobody's blaming a government, but we are blaming the bureaucracy that has existed for too long, where it acts like a private insurance company that wants to deny people the coverage that they well and truly deserve. Now, Jackie Lambie is somebody who has basically become a steady no vote against the government. 9 times out of 10, she is often trying to do the bidding of Labor and the Greens. But when it comes to this position, she has been steadfast. She has been steadfast from before she rejoined the Parliament and since she rejoined the Parliament. So it's her voice that is echoing loudest around Canberra as we get ready for a vote on this in the House of Representatives tomorrow. The reporting tonight on Channel 7 is that the Prime Minister will not oppose. Therefore, you can expect this thing to happen much sooner rather than later. Here's Senator Lambie.
The only thing that will be acceptable will be a Royal Commission, and that will be with a retired judge, someone that is completely independent. These guys want to be able to go in camera if that means that they are serving, so that they trust the system, so whatever they're saying is kept that way, and their names and that are never given up. You don't need to give their names up, but they know their jobs are safe. They know that their families are still going to get bread and milk on the table.
Now, as we say, the way this is going to take place is that most likely you're going to get a whole collection of coalition MPs, they'll cross the floor, or you'll end up with all members of Parliament essentially signing off on this thing to happen. The Prime Minister, most likely, and I have no inside information here, but my guess on these things is that he may say, look, we'll get to this, but it'll take a couple of months to set it up, so we'll see where that goes. Now, government ministers today, they had to turn around and say that, no, the current system is the one that is acceptable. But remember, Simon Birmingham is part of a political party, that being the Liberal Party, the wider government, that joined with Labor, the Greens, One Nation, Centre, everyone in the Parliament in the upper house to say this thing should happen. So he's reading a line rather than speaking his heart on this.
We have firmly believed and have put legislation to the Parliament that establishing not a one-off Royal Commission, but essentially a permanent standing commission type structure, National Veteran Suicide Prevention Commission, that will have all of the same powers as a Royal Commission, but rather than having an end date, it will go on forever in terms of investigating any veteran suicide, being able to make reports to government, and being able to hold government to account as to whether it has acted on previous reports and findings. And we'll continue to try to convince the Parliament that that model doesn't just give the one-off impact of a Royal Commission, but can achieve the lasting impact of saving veterans' lives.
Now, there's a particular veteran that I wanted to highlight for you tonight. This is a veteran who has been profiled in the News Corp papers this weekend. His name's Brad. Brad served his country nobly, and then, of course, became part of the police force as well. Now, Brad Fewson's story is that he often freezes, he's unable to speak or move. He has a terminal condition that's the result of a head injury and dozens of concussions that he got while he was a police officer, and also 21 years of military service. This is where he also went to Iraq and East Timor. Now, I'm going to read from the article that told us Brad's story this weekend, that Mr. Fewson has tried to kill himself at least 10 times. He says the fight to get funding for the hyperbaric oxygen treatment he so desperately needs is far worse than his battle on the field. He says he's being denied, refused and stalled treatment because it creates a precedent for veterans. The Department of Veterans Affairs reviewed and researched it thoroughly and approved stage 1. The treatment totally gave me life beyond anyone's expectation. The treatment began healing my brain. Then it was suspended. This is the absolute heart of the need for the Royal Commission. Why so many politicians are in favour of it and why so many people watching this program are in favour of it. Now, I don't have a problem with the permanent standing solution that the government has put in place, but it needs to be exposed day after day after day, case after case after case after case, that the culture of the Department of Veterans Affairs has been to be like the private insurance company who work out ways to deny your claim. Now, yes, you can't have blank cheques for everyone on everything, but the people who have served our country, well, yeah, they pretty much can. Now, that is a position that clearly no bureaucrat is going to accept, but that is the philosophy that most of us have towards someone like Brad. Someone like Brad who has attempted to take his life 10 times because of not the battle on the field, but the battle with the bureaucrats. Something's wrong. That's why the Royal Commission is needed, and that's why the Royal Commission, in my view, will probably sail through the Parliament, or at least the demand for it, and you'll hear something from the PM a little bit later.